Let's embark on a journey together. Imagine for a moment that you are living on a beautiful tropical island, a paradise where the sun kisses your skin and the waves serenade your soul. You're far from the stress of the city. And there, you've secured a stable, well-paying job, one that commands respect and fills your heart with pride. You're living there with the love of your life, and your family, they're safe, they're happy, and thriving back home. How many of us here today would like that to be our reality? Raise your hands, nice and high. Thank you. You see, my journey started in Lebanon, in the 90s, where life was anything but paradise. It was in a broken home. It was a time of instability and trauma, and I felt like I was barely surviving, both the harsh environment on the outside and inside. But I held on to a hope that by creating my perfect outer world, far from the world that I grew up in, I will find inner happiness and inner peace. So, at the age of 18, I set myself on a mission to escape my past and create my perfect life. Not too long ago today, I was living in Reunion Island, a French tropical paradise in the Indian Ocean. I was working as a dentist in a respected clinic, finishing my master's in aesthetic dentistry. I found the love of my life in Italy, just like the movies, and he left everything to join me on the island. And my mother and brother, who have endured so much trauma, were finally safe and thriving in California. Yes, I made my 18-year-old self very proud. But that sense of accomplishment did not last long. And it did not translate to inner happiness and inner peace like I hope it would. You see, in the pursuit of that perfect world on the outside, I was very hard on myself on the inside. I would put my body through so much stress to achieve certain goals, to get that validation from my boss, my patients, my family, my friends. I would suppress my emotions and never deal with them as not to show weakness. And after creating that perfect life on the outside, guess what? Those emotions, those stresses, well, they started to surface. And I was unable to suppress them any longer. And that led me into a deep depression. One of those depressions that makes you question things about yourself and the choices you made in your life. And I noticed the hard way that I had no idea of who I truly am without having traumas in my life and doing what is expected of me to push me forward. As an Arab immigrant woman who had fought so hard to reach this point in her life all by herself while taking care of her family, I obviously felt guilty for no longer desiring that life that I worked hard for. So instead of feeling like I'm living in paradise, I felt like I was in hell. And there, at the lowest moment in my life, while being at the best place in my life, is where I learned one of life's hardest lessons. It's our inner world that creates our outer world. It's true. So I made a life-changing decision at the age of 30 to leave behind my tropical life and my career to venture for the first time ever through my own looking glass. Not my family's, not society's, but my own, and discover who I truly am and what my life purpose is about. And of course, everybody thought I was crazy to leave this life, even the ones that cared for me. They seemed somehow to project their fears onto me because many people fear taking that step, that hard choice of leaving your comfort zone and giving yourself full permission to discover who you truly are. They say magic happens outside of the comfort zone. It's true, but only if you cross the fear zone first. And that's where everyone gets stuck. And what I learned is that the longer you stay in that comfort zone, the smaller it gets, the more painful it gets, while the fear zone expands, making it much harder for you to do that leap. So if you're wondering, Vanessa, How can I self-assess to leave my comfort zone with confidence? I got you. I want you to answer these 4 questions, as they will become your own guide every time you wish to leave the comfort zone with confidence. So take note. Number 1, what is this life or situation costing you? Truly. For me at that time, it was everything. My will to live, my purpose. Number 2, how will your life be different if you took that step? Allow yourself that question. In my case, the feeling that I'm fully living instead of hiding away in an island, in a clinic, in a patient's mouth, in a tooth. Number 3, what are the obstacles that you may face? And here is where a lot of people get overwhelmed and stop. But I didn't, and I had many. First is closing my business in France, which in of itself is a challenge, let me tell you. Starting over, new career, self-doubt, you name it. And number 4, and my personal favorite, what are the resources that are essential for a successful and swift transition? Having money aside, asking people who have already done this, getting a coach. You see, the answer to these 4 questions are your own guide. The answer to the first 2 gives you that clarity that you are ready to take that step. And that magic is waiting for you outside of the comfort zone. The obstacles, number 3, are just the action steps in disguise that you have to take in the fear zone to get to the magic. There's no way around it. And number 4, these resources, they are the solutions to every obstacle and every challenge that will help you go through the fear zone more easily. There you have it, a clear why, clear actions, and clear solutions that works only for you and in your case, not someone else's. You see, when I moved to the UAE, completely different from my tropical life, that's for sure, and started my new career as a professional coach, completely different from my previous career, from scratch, not knowing anyone, I definitely had many new fears. But this time, I chose to believe in myself. I chose to focus on my inner world. I chose to be kind to myself this time. And I chose to follow my 4 questions framework to get to the magic. And let me tell you, that power of choice, it paid off. My inner world got so big that the fear zone got smaller. And to do that shift is much easier. You see, my friends, the inner world is the only world that you can control and depend on. The outer world is constantly changing, as we've all seen. I mean, look at the past couple of years. Why are we letting it still control us? I've heard many people say that getting fired was the best thing that ever happened to them, or that breakup led to a personal breakthrough, or worse, that health scare led them to start taking care of themselves. Hello? Yeah. Why are we waiting for situations or people to give us permission to create the life we truly deserve? You got your questions, you got your answers. You can go for it, because action leads to clarity and courage. You see, through the journey through the looking glass, I've gotten tools that has given me the PhD in me. And after living in 6 different countries and having gone through many life transitions later, I finally learned that the only constant in my life is actually me. So however the world looks on the outside, I have inner peace now. I have inner happiness. I know my purpose, I'm following my calling, and I'm thriving at it. I want to leave you with a little notion in mind. It's never too late to start believing in yourself and embarking on a new journey. Living on paradise won't solve your problems. The paradise that you seek is within you. Thank you.